Scorpio, you're back in the swing of things. Look at this powerful fifth house of your horoscope. The creative juices are flowing. I'm Dadhichi from astrology.com.au. Welcome newcomers. Hope I'm going to give you a few insights here. It's what I'd call the Oracle Express. We zip through this in 6 or 7 minutes to just give you a synopsis of what's going on, and later on I'll show you, if you want some more detail, how you can do that. You've still got this continuing very favourable Jupiter in your sun sign, which is going to really offset any of the problems that you have. And actually, this is working beautifully with all of these planets moving through this fifth house, which is why I say that your creativity is really starting to peak. Workplace activities are indicated by the moon, so there's obviously some connection here between all of this. You notice that the sun for you is your career planet here in that creative area associated with the spiritual and ideative Neptune. And straight off on the 2nd, look at that, a full moon in your 11th house of social activities here. Sure, opposite Neptune, Mercury and Venus as well, but definitely still continuing that creativity and bringing that energy up into your social affairs. Exchanges of ideas will be numerous, new friends, and then very quickly after the 3rd, maybe a bit of a retreat, a short journey somewhere quiet and lovely. This in any case gives contact with foreign places, or just a quirky desire to get out of your normal routine. So look here, the sun and the moon moves through your sun sign here, and this is a lucky pattern around the 6th, 7th and 8th. As the moon moves into that conjunction with Jupiter, great things are going to happen. Some of these creative enterprises start to take off, and at the same time we see the movement of Mercury, which is the planet ruling your social activities, along with Venus ruling your marriage, into the 6th house. Now let me tell you something about that, Scorpio. The 6th house is the house of enemies. So you've got to be careful at that time, 7th, 8th, 9th, all through this period actually. It's going to go through for a while. In fact, right till the end of the month with Venus. So this is about finding some sort of equity, some balance, some compromise too. I'll just go back there a moment. I want to show you that. One of your ruling planets, Mars, having that close conjunction on the 10th, and a little bit prior to that, 9th and 10th, in the finance sector. That gives disputes. It gives unexpected debts, or just complete nonchalant, carefree expenditure, which will come back to bite you on the rear. So take care, and take a look here, the sobering influence of Saturn here with the moon in between Saturn and Pluto there on the 11th and 12th. We've got these planets continuing in the 6th house. A lot of energy on work, a lot of research, a lot of curiosity, investigating different lines of work, different ways that you can put your skills to good use. And then I want you to keep your eye here. There's a few patterns that are going to take place around the middle of the month here. The first one has to do with the movement of the moon into your 5th house. Again, that creative area that we talked about earlier. And the new moon on the 17th, which happens to coincide very closely with the shift of Mars into, there it is there, into the 3rd house. Now, the Mars and Saturn combination is not so good. It can stifle your communications, but it makes you really, really courageous or ready to take on a new challenge. That's also shown by this new moon in the 5th house. Now, any of you out there with children, this is also going to show a whole new psychological approach to the way you deal with your kids, and that can only be a good thing. The Mars and Saturn is a bit of a problem. That 3rd house relates to your arms, your fingers, your hands, your ears. So this can cause some problems in that area. But certainly Mars also gives you dexterity. For any of you out there that are using your hands, playing musical instruments, crafting, building, renovating, that can be very, very constructive, but can also show a little bit of danger, so take care there. Fortunately, as I always say, when you've got Jupiter here in any sort of powerful aspect to the ascendant or the sun sign or the moon, and we see that here, then that's a protective influence throughout this particular transit. Let me move through this. The moon moves through the 6th house. That's giving even greater weight to the health aspect, looking after your diet, your day-to-day exercise routine. That's a strong one. And then the sun also is going to jump in there around the 21st, and it's going to bring with it some additional vitality. The sun is good in the 6th house, and here we see the stationary direct movement of Mercury ready to go retrograde here, and you can see that as that happens just around the 24th, it's stationary. Make your decisions before that date up to the 22nd, 23rd. Then there are some issues that are going to arise in that area towards the last week of the month. Decisions should be maybe put on hold because Mercury is not altogether a friendly planet, being retrograde here in its enemy sign of Aries. Mixed communications, cross lines of communication are likely, and you see here that very strong square aspect from Mars, Saturn to this area can make you feel like strangling someone. Anyhow, you do have the fortifying influence of the moon up here in the career sector. So it would appear to me that no matter if you've got some underlings or equals there that are giving you a bloody hard time, you do have the support here of the moon in the 10th house, which is your employer and your superiors. You should rely on them, and you see that trine aspect, you should rely on them to help you in that respect. It's interesting that the moon will end up close to where it was at the end of the month there in that social area, notwithstanding these problems you've got here in the work and in the way you're communicating your ideas, or rather not being able to communicate those ideas. The moon here does give you some relief and maybe some help from a friend who can give you some advice there, as shown by the moon trining these hard-nosed planets in your 3rd house. Well, that's it from me, but in the meantime you can take a look there at the additional information I've got at astrology.com.au. Subscribe here, come and join us there. We have a lot of free stuff there, and goes into more depth for your sun sign, for your relationships, and I hope that you'll do that, and also hope that you'll visit me again next month. Thanks for tuning in. Bye bye now.